hear it all the time, right? The need for better tech training,
Mhm.
especially with how fast things are changing with Google Cloud and digital transformation.
Totally. It's crucial to stay ahead of the curve.
Absolutely. So we are diving deep today into a framework that might seem a little academic at first glance,
Yeah.
but trust me, it's a game changer when it comes to designing training that truly sticks.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What's this secret weapon?
It's Bloom's taxonomy.
Bloom's taxonomy. Interesting. For those who aren't familiar, could you give us a quick rundown?
It's basically a hierarchical model that outlines 6 levels of thinking, starting with basic remembering and culminating in the ability to create entirely new stuff. We're talking about moving beyond just absorbing information to really mastering it.
So it's about taking those Google Cloud concepts and actually being able to use them to create solutions in the real world.
Exactly. And it aligns perfectly with how adults learn best. We bring our real-world experiences to the table. We want practical, actionable knowledge. Bloom's taxonomy makes sure that happens.
That makes sense. I can already see how that would be more engaging and effective.
We've been digging into a bunch of resources that really highlight the power of Bloom's taxonomy for designing Google Cloud and digital transformation training. They all stress how it helps learners move from basic knowledge to advanced skills in a structured way.
So in this deep dive, we're going to unpack those 6 levels and look at how they translate into real-world learning experiences.
Right. We'll see how instructional designers can use Bloom's taxonomy to create training that not only grabs your attention, but also gives you the skills to solve actual problems.
Sounds good. Let's get started. Where do we begin?
Okay, let's lay the foundation with the first level, remembering. It's
Hmm.
all about, well, remembering those fundamental concepts and terms. Think of it as building your vocabulary for cloud computing.
So knowing what virtualization means or the difference between a hybrid cloud and a multi-cloud environment, or being able to list the core components of Google Cloud Platform Compute Engine, cloud storage, BigQuery, those essential building blocks.
Right. And understanding, for example, that IAM, or Identity and Access Management, controls who can access and manage resources within your Google Cloud environment.
At this stage, we're not necessarily diving deep into how these things work. It's about recognizing and recalling them.
Exactly. And activities at this level are often straightforward. Things like using glossaries, taking multiple choice quizzes, even creating flashcards to drill those terms into your brain.
It might seem basic, but you can't build a house without a solid foundation.
Totally. Let's say you're a marketing analyst who needs to analyze large data sets. You need to know that BigQuery is the right tool for the job, not just for storage.
Right. And the revised version of Bloom's taxonomy actually calls this level knowledge, which makes sense. It's
Uh,
about knowing the lingo, the key features, the basic definitions.
Okay, so we've got the foundation. Now we move up to level 2, understanding. This is where we go beyond just knowing the terms and start to actually grasp what they mean.
So you're not just spitting out definitions, you're demonstrating that you can explain these cloud concepts in your own words.
Right. For instance, you don't just know that compute engine exists. You understand how it works, what it's used for, and when you would choose it over other services.
Exactly. So maybe you're watching videos that explain how Compute Engine or GKE, Google Kubernetes Engine, function.
Or reading case studies to see how businesses are using Google Cloud to achieve things like scalability and cost optimization.
And you might even participate in discussions, maybe even comparing Google Cloud with other cloud providers like AWS and Azure to see how they stack up.
The assessments at this level also change. Instead of just multiple choice quizzes, you might have short answer questions.
Or write reflective journal entries where you explain a cloud concept in your own words, really showing that you've grasped the underlying principles.
The revised taxonomy refers to this level as comprehension, which I think sums it up well. It's about demonstrating a deeper understanding of the information.
Absolutely. So let's imagine a few real-life examples of understanding in action. Could you give us a scenario?
Okay, picture this. You're asked to explain the benefits of cloud computing to a non-technical business owner.
Or maybe you need to summarize the key takeaways from a case study on digital transformation. Or compare the different storage options available on Google Cloud.
You need to not only know the terms, but also articulate how they apply in real-world situations.
And to do that, you need to truly understand the underlying concepts.
Okay, so we've laid the groundwork with remembering and understanding. Now it's time to get our hands dirty. That brings us to level 3, applying.
This is where we take that foundational knowledge and actually put it to use.
Yeah. It's time to roll up our sleeves and start working with Google Cloud tools and platforms.
Think about hands-on labs, maybe using a platform like Google Cloud Skills Boost. You might be setting up a virtual machine on Compute Engine,
Or configuring cloud storage buckets and setting access permissions.
or even developing a small web app using App Engine.
The key here is that you're actively doing things, not just passively reading or watching. And a crucial insight from the research suggests designing these labs to gradually remove the training wheels.
Right, like starting with detailed instructions and then progressively giving you more autonomy.
Exactly. That way you're forced to apply your knowledge and problem solve in ways that mirror real-world challenges.
And how do we assess learning at this level?
Well, it's all about practical assignments. You might be given a task to deploy and manage resources effectively within Google Cloud, and your success depends on whether you can actually get it done.
It's showtime.
In the revised taxonomy, this level is simply called application. It's about using those concepts and procedures in new and concrete situations.
So not just knowing how to set up a VM in Compute Engine, but actually doing it.
Right. Or deploying a basic web app using Cloud Run. Or configuring IAM roles and permissions to secure your cloud resources.
And having those hands-on labs with clear instructions is essential at this stage.
Think about real-world tasks, like deploying a WordPress website on GCP.
Or configuring a cloud storage bucket and setting those precise IAM policies to control who can access what.
It's about taking those theoretical concepts and turning them into tangible actions within the Google Cloud environment.
Awesome. So we can remember the terms, we understand the concepts, and now we can apply them.
But the learning journey doesn't stop there. It's time to level up again. That brings us to level 4, analyzing.
Now we start to dig deeper into the why behind things. We're breaking down complex information into its core parts and looking for patterns and relationships.
Think of it like detective work. You're examining evidence, looking for clues, and piecing together the puzzle to understand the big picture.
Exactly. In the Google Cloud world, this might involve comparing different cloud architectures and figuring out which one is best for a specific scenario.
So you're not just knowing that different storage options exist. You're analyzing their features, performance, cost, and figuring out which one is the optimal choice for a particular need.
You might also dive deep into cost optimization strategies using the Google Cloud Pricing Calculator.
Or review a case study of an enterprise cloud migration and figure out why the company made certain decisions.
And the assessments at this level often involve writing detailed analyses. Like, you might be given a scenario and have to justify why you chose a specific cloud service or architecture.
The revised taxonomy nails it with the term analysis. It's about breaking down information, identifying relationships, and drawing logical conclusions.
Let's dive into some real-world examples of this level in action.
Okay, so imagine you're analyzing the cost implications of different cloud architectures.
Or troubleshooting an application deployment that suddenly went wrong.
You might be comparing the performance of different databases, like Cloud SQL versus Cloud Spanner.
Or analyzing a company's on-premise infrastructure to figure out the best way to migrate it to the cloud.
These are all real-world challenges that require you to go beyond just knowing the basics and actually analyze the situation to come up with the best solution.
Okay, let's move on to level 5, evaluating. This is where we step back and start to make judgments based on evidence and criteria.
Right. So instead of just taking things at face value, we're critically assessing them. And in the world of Google Cloud and digital transformation, this is particularly important when it comes to things like security, compliance, and optimization.
You're not just implementing security measures, you're evaluating how effective they truly are and looking for potential weaknesses.
Maybe you're conducting a performance audit of a cloud system to see how it's performing against key metrics.
Or maybe you're diving into the ethical and legal aspects of data privacy. Considering frameworks like GDPR, API, and thinking about the implications.
And assessments often involve evaluating case studies and proposing improvements or solutions, like suggesting ways to enhance security or optimize performance for a given cloud environment.
In the revised taxonomy, this level is all about, well, evaluation. Making those judgments, critiquing arguments, and justifying your decisions based on solid evidence.
Give me an example. What kind of task would involve evaluation?
Let's say you're evaluating the effectiveness of a company's digital transformation strategy. Is it actually achieving its intended goals? What could be improved?
Or maybe you're critiquing Google Cloud's security best practices, thinking about whether they're truly adequate for a specific situation.
Or justifying your decision to choose one Google Cloud service over another.
In the real world, you might be evaluating whether Google Cloud's AI platform is the right fit for a particular business need.
Or maybe you're making the case for a multi-cloud strategy for a large organization.
All of these scenarios require you to go beyond simply understanding the concepts and actually evaluate them based on evidence and criteria.
And finally, we reach the peak of Bloom's taxonomy, creating.
This is where we take everything we've learned and synthesize it to create something entirely new.
Think of it as the culmination of the entire learning journey. You're not just consuming information anymore, you're using it to build something innovative and valuable.
In the context of Google Cloud and digital transformation, this could involve designing and implementing custom cloud solutions for specific business challenges.
So you might be architecting a complete cloud solution, maybe even building a prototype to demonstrate its value.
You could be creating interactive dashboards using tools like Google Looker to visualize data in compelling ways.
Or maybe you're working on a capstone project where you're proposing a comprehensive cloud strategy for a company.
Assessments at this level often involve presenting your creation to peers and instructors for feedback.
They'll evaluate its feasibility, originality, and overall quality. It's about showing that you can take all that knowledge and actually use it to create something impactful.
And the revised taxonomy often refers to this level as creation or synthesis. It's about generating new ideas, designing innovative solutions, and building something truly original.
Imagine designing a completely cloud-native application architecture from scratch.
Or developing a roadmap for a company's digital transformation journey.
You could even be building a sophisticated machine learning model using TensorFlow on the Google Cloud AI platform.
The goal is to create a real-world solution to a complex problem.
You might be designing a highly scalable e-commerce platform on GCP capable of handling huge spikes in traffic.
Or building a data analytics dashboard that provides real-time business insights.
These are all real-world applications of creating within the Google Cloud ecosystem.
It's pretty amazing to see how Bloom's taxonomy takes you on this journey from basic knowledge to creating innovative solutions.
Totally. And let's not forget that retail business we talked about earlier. Their cloud migration is a perfect example of how Bloom's taxonomy can play out in the real world.
Right. They started with understanding the basic benefits of cloud adoption. Then they moved to understanding, figuring out how specific Google Cloud Services could meet their needs.
And then applying, actually setting up that cloud-based database to manage their product catalog.
And they continued through analyzing, evaluating, and finally creating, where they built an integrated solution that combined their online store with a predictive analytics tool.
And they're not alone. We see tons of companies using Google Cloud to transform their businesses.
Big names like Spotify, HSBC, logistics companies, they're all leveraging these technologies to innovate and stay competitive.
So for those listening who are eager to learn more about Google Cloud and digital transformation, what are the key takeaways?
Well, first and foremost, it's about relevance. Make sure the training you choose aligns with your goals and the challenges you're facing in your work.
Absolutely. And build on what you already know. You
Right.
don't have to start from scratch. Leverage your existing skills and experience as you move through the levels of Bloom's taxonomy.
And remember, there are amazing resources for self-directed learning. Check out Google Cloud Skills Boost and other platforms that offer hands-on learning at your own pace.
And don't underestimate the power of doing. Actually working with the tools and technologies is essential for moving beyond theory and developing real-world skills.
And lastly, feedback is crucial. Regularly seek feedback from mentors, peers, instructors to make sure you're on the right track and to solidify your understanding.
So as we wrap up our deep dive, it's clear that Bloom's taxonomy is not just some theoretical framework. It's a powerful tool for structuring effective learning experiences, especially for complex fields like Google Cloud and digital transformation.
It ensures that your learning is progressive, building on a solid foundation, and ultimately empowering you to not only understand but also apply and even create with these technologies.
This structured approach helps you avoid feeling overwhelmed by the sheer amount of information out there.
It allows you to build a deep understanding of the concepts and develop those practical problem-solving skills that are so essential in today's tech landscape.
And by following those distinct levels of thinking, remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating, you're embarking on a comprehensive learning journey that will lead to those aha moments of true mastery.
And here's a final thought to take with you. Think about how you can apply these levels of thinking, not just to learning new technologies, but to your current projects at work.
How can you use remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating to solve problems and approach challenges in a more structured and effective way?
It's a powerful framework that can be applied far beyond just Google Cloud and digital transformation. It can truly enhance your overall learning and problem-solving abilities.
And for those who are ready to dive in and get hands-on, definitely check out Google Cloud Skills Boost and the other resources we've mentioned.
It's a fantastic way to continue your learning journey and develop those valuable skills that are in such high demand.
Keep learning, keep exploring, and keep creating.
Until next time, happy learning.